cave biomes and mountains. I hope you'll enjoy. When we make a new update with caves and cliffs, it's a long process. I would say we start about 1.5 years before the planned release, at least. And we start, of course, defining a theme. But quite early, it's time to decide approximately which features we want in the update. So one thing we work with is,
I'm looking at the skeleton mug behind her.
Looking at this
Oh my god, it's a TNT one as well.
We also think it's important to find a balance between reward features.
I get so easily distracted.
Features. So journey features, they are features that improve the journey, maybe when you are looking for a reward. And it can, for example, be new biomes, like the lush caves and the Dipson caves. And reward features, they are more like actual rewards, the things you're searching for. It could, for example, be a new mob or a block that you can use for something cool. And we have learned that when an update have a really good balance between these two different kinds of features, that often is a fun update. And
she's slightly out of focus, and it's bothering me like way more than it should.
Hello,
turn it up.
I'm Henrik. I'm on the gameplay design team here at Mojang. And what I do is basically design and build the features in the game. The main thing that tells us the feature is good is when we can't stop playing it ourselves. When we're playtesting something, for example, I'm in the caves and I can't stop playtesting. I'm just finding an excuse to run around just a little bit more. That's the main symptom of that we're onto something.
How long did I spend in those lush caves? Too long, right?
To feel like
way
more
too long.
Spectacular, more dramatic, like add more contrast to the Minecraft world.
It's getting lost in it, dude.
We wanted the mountains to look a bit more like real-world mountains, of course, in a Minecraft way, but still.
That's ridiculous. That is actually insane. Chat, for reference, a normal like mountain is about here. Holy dude.
Really feel like epic mountains and mountain ranges. We worked a lot with the actual shape of the mountains. We worked a lot with height-dependent generation.
Look. Normal mountain.
Another thing, when the terrain is really steep, we made sure to not generate any snow there. And that, I don't know exactly why, but it really made the mountains look so much better.
Yeah, like
snow
tops.
We really wanted with mountains is that we wanted to add some gameplay to them. And
powdered
I think it's mainly two things. One of the things is the powder snow that creates natural traps on the mountains. So
when you go light trap
adventure, you need to be careful. And the other
and an efficiency 5 shovel.
The next thing is that we wanted like the mountains themselves to be the main reward for the mountains. So
that looks so cool.
Visuals, that's the main reward, and we really hope that you all will get inspired from the mountains.
The main goal of the caves is that it should be fun to just travel around, even without the biomes and mobs.
So dangerous, though. It's gonna be so dangerous and hardcore.
Like some kind of grand adventure. So we are inspired by the surface of the world, because if you're on the surface of the world and you live in one spot and then you travel off somewhere, it's gonna look different. But the underground has kind of been like, once you've seen it, you've kind of seen it all. So we want the underground to be as exciting. So when you travel off, you should be like, wow, look, a waterfall or an underground lake or some huge cliff or a really tiny cramped cave. And another thing is we want the caves to be realistic, but not limited by realism. So it shouldn't feel like you're on some other planet or like in some other dimension. It should be overworld. But we also want to kind of be able to put in some elements of fantasy or exaggeration. To find inspiration for the caves, I did some traveling, mostly in my memories, because I've traveled quite a lot in the past and seen some pretty cool caves in different countries, particularly New Zealand, South Africa, and the West Indies and Spain, and also here in Stockholm. And also the game itself is actually a source of inspiration. Just tinkering around with the code, trying things and noticing wow,
look at
when we add water to the caves. It just made a huge difference. Or when we add, really huge caves.
I wonder if they're gonna adjust
when doing
the mob spawn rates.
We want to have caves for all.
Because I look at that and I just think death.
The lush caves are the caves that are
cute
supposed to feel a bit more welcome,
but death,
a bit more safe, more light, compared to most of the other caves.
Hey, I'm Jasper. I'm the lead artist on Minecraft. That means I oversee the art and the visuals of the game. And I'm going to be talking about the art in the new caves. The lush caves is something you want to build in because it's so green, it's so nice. There's water, And there's, of course, the axolotl. Lush caves don't really exist in,
It looks so
real
cool.
life because the sunlight doesn't get into caves. But in Minecraft, we like to bend the rules a bit. So for this Lush caves, we wanted to have a cave that was full of plants, brimming with life.
So
We decided to
amazing.
have
I love
these
it. I love the
massive
Lush caves. They're my
vines
favorite.
everywhere, hanging everywhere, covering everything. We have added glowberries into the vines. So the Lush caves is a very bright and nice looking environment. We have the new addition of bushes. This is an interesting model because it's a block
Bush
that also
blocks.
has a plant inside of it. We've made these because we didn't want to have trees in the Lush caves because that would be literally copying the overworld into the underground, and we want them not to be as similar. So we've decided not to have any trees in the Lush caves.
That is
We wanted
smart.
the Lush caves to feel a bit
I did wonder about
humid,
that.
like an actual cave with moss and stuff. So we've decided to have like small layers of water everywhere, lush green caves, and a lot of grass.
Every
We're
time I
trying to
hear this
figure
music,
out
I'm getting
how do we
flashbacks of
make
my Meet a Minecraft
dripstones
video.
in Minecraft, right? Because we don't want like dripstones in real life. They're very circular, very organic shapes. We're trying to figure
Same,
out
yeah.
how do we make this in Minecraft?
exact
How do we
same
make
music.
this work? And the first thing you might go to is just like, oh, we'll just make blocks. We'll just like stack blocks together, and you know it's gonna look great. But I think that has too much detail, and it's a little bit too literal. In Minecraft art, we try to make the shape in a box. We don't try to make the shape with boxes. We've decided to make it a plant shape because plant shapes in Minecraft are already very organic.
Phil's Dutch twin.
How can I make the dripstone
Imagine if we
fit
take a
with
picture together,
more
that's gonna look
blocks
so
in the
weird.
area?
I
the
do s- I see
granite
it.
is red,
I
right?
see it, dude.
And I thought maybe it would make more sense for the dripstone to be brown because brown is a neutral color, just like gray stone. So I decided to make it brown because it also fits very well with the sand and also dirt.
And actually, yeah, it
and
does. That's like a
many other
perfect,
blocks.
like, in between.
So a question that I get very often is, what are spaghetti caves and cheese caves? And the best way to understand it is if you imagine an old television set with static noise, black and white dots, right?
Oh,
And you
this
can
is-
take
we're
those
getting
dots
five
and you're
head.
smoothing it out.
We're getting 5-head chat. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're diving into it. This is what the new cave system is using.
Using a technique called Perlin noise, a mathematical technique. And you decide that those white blobs are air and everything else is stone. If you look at that, that becomes almost like a map of a cave system. And that's kind of how we generate.
Bro.
If you look at that picture,
Holy
those
shit.
blobs look kind of like the holes in Swiss cheese. At least we thought so. That's why we just called that cheese caves. But we also want tunnels connecting them. So in a similar way, we can create another noise field, right? The black and white dots, smudge it out using Perlin noise. And then we can decide that instead of white blobs being air and the rest being stone, we decide that the border between white and black, that thin ridge becomes air. and
So
the rest is
fucking
stone.
cool.
And that
It's
gives
so
us spaghetti-like
cool.
caves. So putting those together,
Oh my
cheese
god,
caves gives
dude.
us these big kind of caverns. Spaghetti caves gives us these connecting.
Man,
tunnels
they
between
really
them.
are. They are not messing
And then we
about. They're
add
not
the old
pulling
cave
any punches
generation
with
on
this
top of that,
update.
We get a ton of
This is
variation.
mental.
One thing I'm actually very excited about is the new really big ore veins that we are going to add. They're gonna be really rare, but when you find one, that's quite an exciting moment. When I play Minecraft, I really like to tell stories, and to me it's something very inspiring with finding something that's quite unique in the world. And so for me, like, my imagination starts to spin and goes like, so the person that's found this ore vein maybe now wants to build a castle, or maybe like build a full mining village around it. And what are the stories about everyone that live in this mining village that was built thanks to the ore vein? And I think that's exciting.
That's pretty
This
cool.
update
Actually,
has
that's a good
been-
way to look at it.
Kind of tricky because we're changing basically everything about how the world is generated in Minecraft. But two of the main challenges, especially for caves, has been world height, first of all. We're making the world higher and lower. So the y-coordinate starts at -64 instead of at 0, and then extends to much higher than before. And that's hard because there's so much code that assumes a certain world height.
I can't get
We
that
have to
around my
change
fucking
so
head.
much code and do so
Chat
much
can't
testing
read.
and
It
so many
said,
bugs.
"Oh, you idiots."
Plus performance. A bigger world means more stuff going on, more stuff to load, and that can slow things down. So that's one challenge.
It said,
The other
"Oh."
challenge is water levels.
Oh my
We love
God.
local water levels. They're really cool.
You
get
guys need to
lakes
go
and
back to school.
waterfalls. But it's really tricky to deal with when these
I'm-
different
I'm-
water levels
I'm taking
meet.
you out of
How
school.
do we avoid walls of water.
I
for
am the
example,
problem.
and things like that.
I've been making textures for a long time now, and the hardest part of making textures is making flat textures, like the polished granite or andesite or diorite. You know, it's really hard to have a flat surface that has quite a lot of detail. Like imagine...
Yeah, he's done like a bunch of like pixel art and
imagine
stuff.
it's just a rough stone surface. It has very tiny specks of like crystals or glass or sand. And in Minecraft, the textures are very tiny. Like we have really big blocks.
It's got
so
such a
it's
limited
super
space to work
hard
in.
To fit that like into a flat texture.
It's important to try to include as many voices and as many diverse voices as possible, and also preferably as early as possible in the process of crafting an update. So, and here, of course, the community is super important because
Yes.
we are very thankful that we have such a huge community, and it's a diverse community, and really getting input, feedback, suggestions for the community means a lot. Because for us, it's important we create something
Moth.
that truly is
Tiny
for
little
everyone.
moth. Sorry.
I want the players to be like, wow, this is amazing. And I think with the Underground update, we really did that. So upgrading the Underground was such a nice experience, such a cool experience.
It's the cave update. It's the update that the community has been asking for such a long time.
True.
It's become, of course, very important for us to really meet, what preferably exceed the player expectations. And I really feel proud how we all have got together and really tried to achieve that. And I feel proud. I feel we have a very good update and a good set of features.
That's
with
good.
A lot of
I'm
variation,
glad they're
and
like
it's
happy with
something
it.
for everyone.
Like they're genuinely
I really
just like,
hope that
yay.
you're all really gonna
We're doing a
enjoy
good-
the Caves
good
and Cliffs
one.
update, and
We're
that
doing a really
it will
good one.
inspire you to play Minecraft in your own way.
Everyone's going to become hamsters underground. I'm calling it. We're just going to have hamster cages and tunnels leading everywhere. It's happening, boys. It's happening. That was really cool. I like that. That was Dev Diaries World Generation on the official Minecraft YouTube channel if you want to watch it again. That was really cool. I'm glad we watched that, actually. That was good. All right. Let's get back into video game, and I'll unpause alerts